All right, welcome to day 4 of the Classic Sub-Junior and Junior World Championships in Romania. We're here at the Powerlifting America press conference. And first up, we've got the superstar 63-kilo junior lifter, Joy Reinfleisch, and her coach, Vin Mangione, who's also the raw coordinator for the Powerlifting America U.S. national team here at these national championships. First of all, I want to start off by saying congratulations to both of you. You've both had amazing performances throughout these whole world championships for you, Vin, and today, especially for you, Joy, out there on the platform.
Thank you.
And first thing I wanted you to do is just go ahead and kind of walk us through what happened out there today on the platform for you and how the day unfolded for you.
Well, I woke up at 4 in the morning, and I was 64 kg, and I was like, all right, time to start spitting. So I spit for like an hour and a half, and maybe I lost like 0.2, so I was like, this is not gonna work. So then I went down to the treadmill at like 4:30 in the morning, and then I put a sweatsuit on, and then I just started going on the incline for like 20 minutes, and I dropped a little bit, but still not a lot. So then I went into a bath, and I got to like 63.3, and it was like 6:30, so we had to go down for equipment checks, and I was still spitting, and I just literally spit for almost like 4 hours. And then I started crying, like, I think that helped actually, me lose weight, but I started like bawling my eyes out because I thought I was gonna miss weight, and then I weighed in 62.9, and I also started crying and hugged Meg, but those were more of happy tears because I don't know if most of you guys know this, but I almost dropped out of Worlds this year, and I just had a lot going on, and did 2 preps in a row, was cutting for almost 10 months on and off, so I was just mentally drained, and I almost dropped out of Worlds. And a big thing was just not wanting to have to diet down again, not wanting to have to restrict myself, and hitting that number and making weight was like, it's just a really emotional moment, and it's like I did it. And yeah, so that was my morning, and then I rehydrated, refueled, and I started squatting. I felt pretty good in the warm-up rooms, and my opener, I was super confident actually. I opened with 320, which is the heaviest I've ever opened with. I went out there confident, and I got 3 white lights, and it moved pretty well. And my second, I also was super confident. It was 336, and I unfortunately missed on depth. My butt actually hit one of the spotters that was spotting me, but we couldn't, it was too late to overturn it. And I went out for my third and just wasn't there today. But I was sad, obviously, at first, but I kind of just recomposed myself, and, you know, bench is my thing, so I was super excited to bench. And I had a really good bench day. I got second as a junior, which I think is pretty cool, first-year junior. I actually tied Elba on bench. She beat me on body weight, but it was just really cool to be able to say that I tied one of the best 63 benchers of the juniors. And then deadlift, there was nothing riding on deadlift, so I was kind of just like, I'm here, I'm going to have some fun, and we loaded 402. It wasn't there today, but I had fun out there. So my day, ultimately, I think, went pretty good.
And Vin, you were there. Obviously, you've been there for every session on the raw side, on the classic side of these world championships.
Yep.
But what are you the most proud of about Joy's performance today?
Well, obviously the bench, but I think overall just the way she composed herself after squats and just was able to move past it, and just then had the bench performance that she had, which, I mean, I think she surprised herself a little bit, knowing that, you know, last year bench took a pretty big dip in performance, and she was concerned about that today, and it ended up being her best lift, you know, of the entire session. So I think, yeah, but that's, you know, outside of bench, it's just the overall composure and her ability to just stay in the game mentally and push through when things are, you know, a little rocky.
Yeah, for sure. And Joy, what did it mean for you to tie Alba Bostrom on bench press as one of the youngest juniors? I think the youngest junior. You just aged into this class, into this age group from the sub juniors. To be tying someone who, I mean, is she someone that you look up to on bench press?
Yeah.
So what did it mean for you?
It was surreal. I don't even know. She's a lifter that I've looked up to for a while, and to be on the level that, like, I literally tied one of my idols, and it's just kind of crazy. Like, it didn't feel real. I was literally shaking after. I gave her a hug. I went up to her and I, like, told her good job, but yeah, it just didn't feel real.
And Joy, coming into this competition as a sub-junior lifter, with the really busy schedule and the prep that you said, like you mentioned that you had thought of pulling out of this competition, but then kind of coming in here today, what were your goals? Because I know, like, being back there in the warm-up room with you, you wanted more, and you were in fact a little bit upset that Vin didn't give you more on squat. You wanted more on bench, even though you had what looked to be an RPE 10 final attempt on bench.
I think 12, honestly.
RPE 12 final attempt. So, I mean, you were thinking about pulling out of the competition, but then, like, that competitive, fiery nature just kind of took over on meet day. So what were your goals, and did you accomplish them, and are you happy with your performance?
Well, what's funny is, even though I wanted to pull out, this is the best prep I've ever had. So I was actually pretty confident going in. I think it's just the traveling and my weight being higher than we expected it to be. So having to cut down, I was definitely a little weaker. My calves were cramping, my lats were cramping, everything was cramping. I was gargling pickle juice in the back to try and, like, stop the cramping or distract myself. But my goals were 353 for squat, which we didn't really get anywhere close to that. Actually 259 or 262 for bench, so I'm pretty happy that I hit 259. That's a 15-pound platform PR, so that's pretty cool. And then deadlift, it was 402, but we went for it, and I've never been able to load 402 on the platform, so I thought it was just cool that I got strong enough throughout my prep and moved my second attempt well enough to load 402.
Joy, this question is for you. Obviously, you've had Joy, this question is for you. Obviously, you've had a whirlwind of a year, kind of blowing up, and I'm sure that puts a lot of pressure on you. I guess my question is this: obviously, as a competitor, you know, everyone wants to do well, but after squats and how they didn't really go to plan, and how that kind of affected maybe the end result, we kind of knew the day just wasn't going to be as good. To me, it seemed like that kind of took some pressure off, and you were able to just relax. And obviously, you didn't have all the cameras in your face that I'm sure you normally do. Mm-hmm. Maybe if you could just kind of talk about that, if it did relax you more, and what did it feel like maybe to just get back to lifting?
I definitely had my moment after squat of being sad, feeling upset. Obviously, I feel like anybody would. But then I just took a second to myself, and I was like, Joy, you're literally here. You didn't even want to come here, like, after nationals, because I obviously lost, and it was rough after nationals. I didn't want to compete, and I was just reflecting. I was like, you're here, you made it here, you worked through this prep. So let's turn that frown upside down and smile and have some fun. And yeah, it did take a little pressure off of me, I'd say, because some people on social media, especially, they only see, like, obviously I have a pretty big following. They only see me. I'm the only 63 they see, like, all the time. So sometimes they're like, she has to be the strongest 63. She's the only person that weight that that body weight that we see pulling this weight, pressing this weight. Like, she has to be the strongest in the world, but they don't see, like, the other juniors that are actually the strongest in the world. They just expect me to win. So it was a lot of pressure going in, knowing that, like, I knew I wasn't going to win, But everybody was expecting me to win, but it's like they didn't understand, like, that it's 19 through 23-year-olds, and that there's girls that have been doing this for way longer than me. They're just like, oh my gosh, Joy, she's the only person we see. Like, she's 19, she's 138 pounds. She has to be the strongest at bench. So that was definitely something that was hard to deal with, because I was getting comments on my videos being like, Joy, for number one, you're going to win. Like, there's no doubt you're going to win. And I'm like, guys, no. But yeah, after squats, it was a release. I was relieved, and then I just got to have fun and do what I love.
Great answer. So your bench was incredible.
Thank you.
I was fortunate enough as well to be there last year for your world record bench in the sub juniors. Which I believe was 101 last year.
Yep.
So you added another 16 and a half keys, which is phenomenal. So this question is for Vin. And you also mentioned, Joy, how this training cycle was the best ever. Vin, if you could just give me a little insight into programming and how, just the steps you take to make Joy the athlete she is, and as well as some of the other athletes you coach.
Yeah. So, well, I don't want to give away the entire, formula for her because, it's hers. But, overall, I just spend time learning from other coaches, other programming styles, and with some trial and error, we found the formula for her, which for the most part was benching 4 times a week, with minimal variation, but enough to, keep the stimulus high. But, she's just an exceptional bencher, and she responded very well to the volume that we used, and, saw the result today from that. And yeah, that's it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too revolutionizing.
So, Joy, beyond your performance on the platform at the World Championships, you've now been to the World Championships 2 times. Can you talk about what was different this time around coming in as someone who's like a much more well-known person in the sport this time around, and just the things that you enjoyed about this World Championships besides the lifting aspect of like the community that surrounds you and that aspect of these World Championships?
Well, obviously this one I have quite a big following going into, and it's really cool to have other people from other countries know who I am. I had someone come up and ask for a picture with me like on Google Translate, so that was pretty cool. Just meeting new people, making new friends, having the best time. I love being able to hang out with other people who get my life and get why I do that and have the same passion as me. It's also a really nice venue. Like, this hotel is beautiful, and it's just been a really nice time so far.
And going forward, I mean, what are your goals as far as, coming back to these World Championships in the future and basically shattering that bench world record?
Well, I want to be a world champion, 63 kg. I feel the strongest in 63s than 69s, so that's a really big goal of mine. Maybe next year I'll take a stab at it or get closer, but next year, ultimately, I want that bench. I want to be first on bench, and I'm going to work my butt off to get there, but that's the goal for next year. And I might go to Bench Worlds, so.
All right.
She's going to go to Bench Worlds.
I'm going to go to Bench Worlds.
So next up is Bench Worlds.
Yeah, if King of the Lifts is watching this.
All right. Ryan Lapidat, if you're hearing this.
He's been on me about that.
If you're hearing this, so first thing, I guess you'll go to Bench Nationals.
Yeah.
And then that'll be fun. And you put on a clinic there and then go to the World Championships. So that'll be fantastic. So you probably will be a world champion by the next time you get to these Junior World Championships. Are there any other questions out here for Joy before we turn it over, bring up another person? Meg, anyone? No? Okay, Joy, we're super thankful that you decided to come to this competition and not pulled out. I'm sure that you inspired literally hundreds of thousands of people here today with your perseverance and overcoming the adversity and showing that never quit attitude that you have and the fiery competitive nature that you have. And we're extremely proud of you. So, and we can't wait to see you at Bench Nationals.
Yeah.
So congrats on your great performance, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Yay. Good job.
Are we good?
I think so. Are we good?
All right, next up we've got Daisy Areola Garcia and her coach Tim Mercer here. First of all, congratulations to both of you, especially Daisy, to your great performance out there today on the platform. The first thing that I wanted to ask was, you told me in the warm-up room, I said, are you having fun and will you have fun at this competition? And you said you would have fun when deadlifts are over. So have you had fun since deadlifts ended?
Yes, I had a celebratory scoop of gelato today at the mall, so that was nice.
And you also told me that you were ready to go to the gym and start working out again, and that you were waiting on Tim to send you something. Literally less than an hour from finishing. Tim, did you send her off-season program?
Let's be clear, there will be no programming from me today or the rest of the week. But I think she has a tradition of going to the gym on the later in the day on contest day, which we're going to try to put that tradition to bed. But yeah, there's no programming.
Have you already been to the gym?
Not yet, but I mean, it's been on my mind, yeah. I'm very used to just overtraining. That's been my thing for years. It's hard to let go of bad habits,
So speaking of letting go of bad habits, you came out and hit 3 for 3 on squat. And you put up a really big performance. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of you, and what did you do to get ready for squat? Because your squat really, really looked good today.
I definitely took it very serious after nationals. I knew that that Worlds is completely different animal. Shout out to Vin for letting me know about that one. And I was just like, okay, you need to be better. You need to be undeniable. You can't be 50-50. This needs to change. So I went back to my old ways, got in some flats, and figured out a really great form. And thank you so much, Tim, for helping me nail those. Some days they were there, some days they weren't. And ultimately, we were able to secure 3 for 3 again, which is a pretty good accomplishment, I think.
Extremely good accomplishment. And being back there, watching them in warm-ups, they looked great. They looked great on the platform. You should be really proud of that. Why don't you go ahead and walk us through the rest of your performance today, how you did on bench and how you did on deadlift.
Yeah, so bench, let's see. Well, when I got to the second one, I didn't really understand what they were trying to tell me about the elbow. I didn't realize I had a loose elbow. And so when they told me to fix it, I had a few 10 seconds, I think. So then I wasn't able to recover from that and do it. So it was just it would have been an RP 11 if I kept grinding it. But anyways, I just got it for the third, and we didn't really bump up after that just to secure it. But I mean, I wanted 5 more kilos if possible. And maybe they would have been there, but I was really thrown off. But now I learned that you need really straight elbows.
Yeah, I mean, this was your first time at the World Championships, right?
Yes.
And so, I mean, there's going to be a lot of learning experiences, a lot of things that you can, little things like that you can improve upon. One thing that the crowd really loved was your running on and off of the platform. I think that's going to help in those situations. Where maybe there's a ref that asks you to re-rack it because you run it on there, you give you extra time on the clock.
Yeah.
But then go ahead and tell us what happened on deadlift. Kind of take us through, how deadlifts unfolded.
I don't know. I think I was too chillaxed.
They won't be able to hear
Oh.
that. Go ahead.
Like normally I'm a little more hype, I think.
Apparently there's an Amber Alert.
A Bulgarian Amber Alert.
Okay,
We got it.
Okay.
Oh,
extreme weather alert. So
tornadoes coming.
let's get this press conference done before the weather hits us, apparently. But tell us what was happening on deadlift. You were just trying to say you were a little too chilled out? A
Yeah,
little
I
too
think
zen?
so. I normally get a little like more like aggressive and like into it, and I think I needed to like channel something, and I didn't quite channel it correctly for that third. But other than that, I think technically maybe I was a little too like far away from the bar too. So if I would have picked it up towards me, I would have like, I don't know, kind of like fell forward situation. But I don't feel like I feel like the day was pretty easy peasy considering I didn't really sleep because I never sleep before competitions. So I felt like I kind of cruised through it, but I was very emotional. I don't know if that was because of lack of sleep, but I realized that, oh man, I'm such an emotional person. Like I didn't see the side of me before.
Yeah, you had me tearing up throughout the day with little things that you would say here and there. Tim, can you just kind of brag about Daisy a little bit?
Yeah, I'll try to do that without crying. But in terms of the lifting today, in terms of the prep for this first international meet, I hadn't been coaching Daisy prior to nationals. I got to handle her at nationals, and she asked me to take over her prep for this meet. And really dealing with...
Sorry, we are being interrupted ridiculously here by this weather alert, but go ahead.
It's great. Being that Daisy had been self-coached, and her training was, if I'm being frank, a little bit all over the place and a whole lot overtrained. I was worried that as we started developing a coach-athlete relationship that there would be pushback or that compliance with the programming wouldn't be good, and there's none of that. So not only is she one of the most thankful people I've ever coached, she's also jumped right in with both feet and said, "I trust you. I'm here. Let's do exactly what you're asking me to do," and that was some substantial changes from the way she'd been training before. So kudos to her for having that trust. There's probably no good reason for her to trust me at that point, but she did, and she's very thankful along the way. So we had a good prep. The goals weren't really about getting stronger. It was really just about, as she said, making the lifts undeniable so that we could come to the IPF stage and not miss lifts on technicalities. She had a history of missing lifts in competition, squats in competition for depth, and 3 for 3 today, put 4.5 kilos on her national record squat, and everything was perfect depth. So round 3. So that was great. With the bench, she's again really strong, but it was pretty sloppy, I thought. So we needed to clean it up. We needed to teach her to be a little tighter because her bench was not going to hold up to IPF reffing. But again, she had that little issue with the elbow today, which was weird. I didn't think her elbow was actually soft, but those things happen. She came back, nailed it on her third. The plan would have been to go 92 kilos on the second, 95 on the third, maybe 97, and 95 was definitely there today. So that would have been the result we wanted, but 2.5 kilos, no big deal. Deadlift, we were able to kind of load up the last deadlift to pull to jump from 7th to 5th, and it wasn't there today, but I think it was the right call, and her training indicated that it should be there. So we still have some work to do, I think, to figure out how to get her deadlift to kind of perform on contest day. All of the lifting aside, Daisy's one of the best people. Sorry. She's a really good kid.
She made me cry many times today as well with her kindness.
Yeah, kindness, generosity. I kept telling her that I'm gonna have to bring like shackles or handcuffs or something to the next meet to like lock her down, because she's in the warm-up room trying to take care of everybody else, and then she's also trying to run around and do this and do that. She's like a little ball of energy. But anyway, coaching is kind of a hobby for me. It's not my day job. I want to do it with people that are quality people, and she's top notch.
Absolutely agree with you. Daisy, you said to me in the warm-up room after you got done squatting and you went 3 for 3, you said that you need to believe in yourself more. And after this performance today, being out there with the best 63 kilo junior lifters in the entire world and going toe to toe with them all the way to the very end, do you think that now you believe in yourself more?
I think so, a little bit more. I have a really hard time like accepting when I make mistakes. I'm very like hard on letting them go. Like I don't let things go. I'm very stubborn and hard-headed, and just whenever I make a mistake, I'm like, okay, you have to correct it. You have to correct it. And sometimes I go about it the wrong way, I think, and I'm like, I do work on correcting it, right? But I don't like take time to like be proud of accomplishments, and I just get ready to go on the next task or next block or next, yeah. Oh my goodness. But I do feel like in me, I do want to like have a better relationship and like just accept when things happen and care about my own happiness too. So that's something to work on.
Daisy, I just wanted to say it was a pleasure to coach you today, along with Tim. Tim, I felt did a great job in preparing you and making adjustments to get you here and to be prepared. What are some things that maybe you felt that just were kind of unexpected when you actually got here? What were some of the things that you just didn't necessarily plan for, that maybe you just can't really plan for until you actually are in the moment? Whether that's, before the meet or even during the meet.
I was a little bit worried about the food situation. I was a little bit over when I came, but I managed to like drop like weight every day. So the weight cut, I didn't have to do anything at all. If anything, Tim kept texting me to like eat things because I was under. I think the flight was, I think I got here with enough time, 3 days before, so that was good. My training indicated well my last SBD session. Maybe something that wasn't so good. Let's see. Oh, the sleeping, yes. So 4 days with lack of sleep is kind of tough. Like I feel like I was a walking zombie. Like sometimes I couldn't really see people. My eyes were just giving up on me. So I was just kind of cruising through each day. So I'm just hoping now that we have this task done, now I think I can sleep in peace.
Now, you do have one more year of juniors. Have
Yes.
you maybe set some goals for next year?
Oh, yes, definitely.
And what are those?
So this year the goals that I was able to hit were to PR all 3 lifts, and I did so in a sense as far as like body weight and this level, which is really great. I never thought I could make it here, and I'm really, really grateful to be here. I would definitely like to continue that goal to get podium, even though it didn't happen this time. I want to make that happen. and I will fight and do my best to add on those kilos, to keep adding them and make that a possibility, because I think it is possible.
I had a question for both of you. Are we going to see a squat world record next year?
Well, that's going to take a lot of hard work, and I am willing to give it all my hard work and discipline. That is about 27 pounds from what I squatted today. It sounds like quite a bit, but I think a year it's a long time also. And considering I was able to fix a whole 2 or more inches of range of motion into my squat and put 380 on there, I think it is possible. I think so 407, that's the number that's on my mind. That's what the record will be. I had the honor of sharing the stage there with Ludovine, and she's a really sweet girl. And I'm really happy actually to see her break her record, 405 to 406. That was beautiful. Just love how she trains. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, so along those lines, what are some of your favorite things about being here at these World Championships? Whether it was, be on the platform with someone like her, or just the experience of coming to Romania, or just being on, the biggest stage in powerlifting, whatever it is. What are the things that you think you'll look back on the fondest about these World Championships?
Yeah, I just love the community, I thought it was so nice how like a lot of like our US members were having breakfast together, just chatting, and Joy was such a sweetheart. She was like checking up in the back room. She was like, hey, she's like, you got this. She's like, you're here, we're here. And I'm like, yeah, we are. That was not clicking in my mind, but yeah, like it's nice moments you can share, and like we all have this like hobby and passion, and it's like we don't get to share those moments with other people other than ourselves, and it's really nice.
And similarly, what from your whole experience here are you the most proud of in your own performance? Not just on not necessarily like a number or hitting a PR or something like that, but just everything about these World Championships. What are you the most proud of yourself about?
I think possibly getting most of my lifts being a thing. I think that like kind of like set another thing, like, hey, like you do know what you're doing, because I have big imposter syndrome, and sometimes I'm like, no, you don't know what you're doing, you're not good enough. But then I'm like, the judges literally told you're fine, like what are you talking about? So I have a lot of like these back and forth talks with myself in my head.
So now going forward, that imposter syndrome should be gone, right? Because you proved to yourself here and to everyone that you belong on this platform, that you belong on the world stage, that you can compete with the best in the world. And so hopefully going forward, you can, now like have some relief that like you are good enough to be here and you deserve to be here. And you can go back to nationals next year and prove it again and make it back on this team again. So hopefully that happens. Do you feel like that you'll have some relief now kind of coming out of this successful, and that now maybe you just put your head down and train smart with Tim, go back to work, and next year's going to be a whole much bigger total for you?
Yeah, I definitely think I trust myself a little more. I trust others very, very like easily, but myself, oof, not really. But yeah, I think I see it now. The judges told me I'm okay. I did it. Like, I think just going through this like one time already, like I think it sets a tone, and I can see myself going forward and doing better.
All right, that's awesome. Tim, are there any final thoughts that you had like while she was speaking there at the end, or anything like this that you would like to add about Daisy, what the future will hold, anything like that going forward?
Yeah, we talked a lot at the end of the day today about the idea that, coming to Worlds is a big thing. It's a big experience. You should never take it for granted. Could be one trip, right? You get one invite, one trip, and that could be the only one of your life. So I also think when you walk away from competing at Worlds, the thing that's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life is not the PRs, we can hit the PRs on a Tuesday in the gym, and that's pretty cool. But the thing that's going to stick with you is this experience. So I know she didn't have the end of the day that she wanted, or get that podium spot or whatever. But it's a really solid performance, and more importantly, it's a really magical experience. So I hope that for Daisy, for all the other U.S. team members, for all the other junior, sub-juniors in general, I hope they can kind of, at least at some point, maybe not the moment that you just missed your third deadlift, but at some point you can have that clarity or that perspective to see that this is a lot bigger than a PR or a total.
Absolutely. That's really great advice from an OG veteran of the game, and Tim Mercer there, Daisy's coach. And with that, are there any other questions for Daisy or Tim? Okay, we'll let you go. Perfect timing. This storm is weather.
Go to the shelter.
The weather is definitely trolling us, but Daisy, we could not be more proud of you.
Thank you
and
so much.
the perseverance that you showed, and getting here onto this stage, you really proved to everyone, that you really do belong here. And you should trust yourself, like you said to me afterwards, that you're capable and very strong woman. So we're proud of you, and you inspired a lot of people. And thank you for your performance representing Team USA. And congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next up, we've got Jack Reynolds in the 74 kilo sub-junior division, and we've got his game day coach, the Raw coordinator for the U.S. national team, Vin Mangione, up here with him as well. First of all, congratulations to both of you, but especially Jack on your amazing performance today. First and foremost, I want to just ask you about how the day unfolded for you. It started off really strong on squat, and then just kind of take it from there. I know bench is your big lift, and so definitely go into some details on that, and then just kind of take us through how the whole day unfolded for you as far as the lifts are concerned.
Yeah, squat was, I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more, but it's enough to be happy. And bench was like probably my best performance yet. Like I put like 5 kilos on since nationals and weighed a bit less. But I mean, deadlift, I thought I was going to do a bit better, but it is what it is. It's all that was there.
So give us a little more detail on your squat. Did you hit all three?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so it started off really nice, really strong. I mean, that's a great performance. Did you medal in squat?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't
No, I
medal
think
in
it was like
squat.
4th, 5th maybe, I'm not sure.
Okay, what did you hit a PR?
Meet PR, yeah,
Nice.
220.
All right, and then same thing on bench.
On bench, we opened 150, which moved good. So we went up like 5 kilos, 155. I was happy with that. I was worried I wasn't going to get bench gold for a second, but luckily 160, I had that too, so.
What was going on bench? I mean, so you're known as a huge bencher. You're 16 years old. You got like the biggest bench in all of the juniors. You ended up taking home the gold medal on bench. But what what kind of happened and unfolded as far as like the other lifters are concerned that you were worried about?
Oh, the French lifter, yeah. I mean, he missed his second, so he didn't load anymore. But once he got on his third, I knew I'd need to hit 160 to take the gold back. But luckily, I could.
Did he make you nervous?
A little bit, yeah. I was nervous.
Yeah, your foot made me nervous on your third.
Yeah, my foot slipped out on my third, but just trying to like keep it planted still.
Still
Somewhat.
got it. Still got it, right? And then tell us a little bit more about the deadlift.
I mean, it wasn't feeling perfect in warm-ups, but I've pulled that so many times in training recently. And I don't know, the strength was there. I just lost balance, and then that on like the first and second. But I mean, we got it on thirds, so at least we didn't bomb out.
So you went 1 for 3 on deadlift.
Yeah.
You missed your first and your second deadlift. You had everyone kind of a little bit nervous. What exactly was wrong with those first 2 deadlifts? What was going on?
I think my balance was just off. I don't know, it wasn't a great day, but John helped me fix that in between, and it ended up working.
Was there anything in warm-ups that was indicating that, deadlift was going to be causing you some problems?
I was feeling slightly worse, not much to even worry, but yeah, I've pulled a lot more in training, just kind of surprised me. I feel like, I don't know.
You said, I think I heard you say at one point, maybe going into deadlifts, that you feel sluggish.
It felt sluggish warming up a bit, but I didn't expect it to like mess with me a ton. I thought, yeah.
So what did John tell you to get you to hit your third deadlift? Because John is known as something of a bomb out whisperer. We've had several people almost bomb out at this competition, and John seems to always have the magic words to get someone to not bomb out. So why don't you tell us a little bit what the secret sauce is?
Well, it was really just that small technique change that helped the most, but also them getting me to just like almost calm down, I guess, because it wasn't very hard weight. I was just messing it up. So yeah, that helped the most.
Were you nervous?
I was very nervous. I was nervous once I failed it, because I'm like, the first time I failed it, I was like worried, because it wasn't like super close either.
No, it wasn't super close, and it wasn't super close on the second either. So yeah, it was extremely nerve-wracking for all of us. But yeah, we knew we had John in the corner to pull you out of it. So, Vin, do you want to just kind of talk a little bit, kind of elaborate on some of these things that he touched on very briefly? Anything stand out to you, or anything that you're especially proud of in his performance today?
Well, I mean, everything, I guess, went to plan except deadlifts, but still worked out in the end. He ended up on the podium. I think, same thing I kind of touched on with Joy. Just when you have those moments that get a little rocky, he was able to stay composed enough to, secure it total and not bomb out. So definitely proud of him for that. And, at 16 years old, he's an exceptional lifter. So he's definitely got a future in the sport if he, sticks around.
Yeah, I mean, as a 16-year-old to take home the gold medal on bench, and then, I mean, he's got a good squat and a good deadlift, and finish in third place overall. I mean, just what do you think his potential is in the future?
I mean, obviously, if you can stay healthy and, continue making progress and training in a way that's smart, and, you're not trying to force PRs for clout and all that. I mean, honestly, the sky's the limit for him, I think. So he's got a couple years left in subs, and, he'll be in the juniors making the same amount of noise he does in the subs.
Jack, could you just describe a little bit the differences competing at this meet, internationally as opposed to a national meet, and just maybe the little variables, different pressure you feel competing at this level?
I mean, obviously there's just slightly more pressure, but it felt similar to nationals, just like with the crowd and everything and how it was run. So it wasn't super uncomfortable. I wasn't more nervous than I used to be. So, yeah.
And my next question, which I think everyone wants a little bit more information about, tell us a little bit about the hair.
The hair. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I was gonna buzz it, but I changed my mind.
Are you a Simpsons fan at all?
Yeah.
Fair.
No, I did have it tied up, but it was just getting like I didn't like it like that, so I figured just.
I like it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the man bun look.
Yeah.
But
Next time.
it's all good.
And Jack, are there any people that you like to thank? Who's your coach?
David Wilson. I mean, he's been supporting me through all this, and he was here like telling me I still did a good job and stuff after. So I want to thank him. I mean, we had a good prep and all that, but I know we're gonna go so much farther after this, especially. So big thanks to him. Yeah.
And anyone else that traveled with you over here?
Me and my parents, but yeah, I'd like to thank them because I wouldn't be able to afford it on my own. So I guess that's pretty cool.
I mean, you had your dad back there in the warm-up room with you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I saw there was, like, a lot of hugs and stuff, especially after you got that last deadlift and avoided the bomb out.
Yeah, that was stressful.
I think, you told me before, I think in nationals, that you kind of have, like, a really special relationship with your dad when it comes to powerlifting.
Yeah.
You just want to elaborate on that?
I mean, yeah, he's always, like, supported me, let me do this, all that, and like, he wants to see me win, and I just like making him proud, so, yeah.
All right, are there any other questions? Yep, here we go. From one big bencher to another.
Okay, so last year at Worlds, they gave me a bad handoff on the first.
Yes, awful.
So
Awful.
I heard your foot slipped.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at that moment?
When it slipped,
Yeah.
I was just like, hope my butt wouldn't come off when I was pushing with my other foot, but I kind of just like stopped pushing all together and make sure like my heel didn't come up or nothing.
Was it like a Larson bench press?
Kinda.
It could have ended that way.
First few meets, I'd have to do Larson presses because my butt came off anyways, but yeah, it's all good.
Jack, are there any lessons that you're going to take away from these World Championships? Are you going to change anything with the shoes or anything? Or
Probably not with my shoes. I'll probably just like make sure my technique's solid so stuff like that doesn't happen. And I mean, I thought it was, but I guess not. So, I mean, we'll see. There's minor details, but I thought it wasn't too bad overall.
Yeah, are you proud of your performance?
Proud of the bench. That's about it. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
What, I mean, you say you're proud of the bench. You finished in third as one of the youngest juniors, or one of the youngest sub-juniors in this class. Are you satisfied with that, or?
I'm not satisfied.
Were you coming into this? Were you expecting to win this competition?
I thought it was going to be really close, and then I know stuff just started happening, not in my favor, but it looked close from the beginning, and then it just turned out not to be.
Yeah. All right, and then lastly, just how was the overall experience here being in Romania?
It was fun. Yeah, I like the hotel. It's very nice. Good food here. Yeah, it's all that matters.
Did you hang out, meet new friends, things like this?
Yeah, I made some friends from other countries.
I saw, I think, did you trade your singlet?
I did. I got a Spain singlet now, so
That's awesome.
I sell that.
Spain has the best singlet, honestly. It's
Yeah.
the coolest. All right, Jack. Good taste in singlets, good taste in bench and hair. And we're really proud of your performance today. Like, you have an extremely bright future. The sky's the limit for you. And congratulations one last time. And with that, we'll let you go.
All right, thank you so much.
We have the 74 kilo sub junior world champion, Nick Gaines. Congratulations on your amazing performance today, Nick.
Thank you, Paul.
So the day really started off strong on squat. You ended up with the squat world record. Was breaking the world record on squat, was that the plan coming in, or was it just feeling really good today? I know you told me that you had something up your sleeve and that you just watch. You just kept saying, just watch, just wait and see what I got. And so it seemed like you knew that you had something in the cards.
Well, sadly, what I was referring to when I told you that like 6 times yesterday was a big pull, and we did not. I mean, okay, we broke the record, so that's like a good thing in itself. But like, I pulled 285, like pretty like no sticking point like during training, and I don't know what happened, but like deadlift just did not show up today for some reason. Maybe it was the squat that like I never do SBD days, so maybe it was just that extra fatigue during deadlift that like kind of put me in that that like predicament. But yeah, I don't know. It deadlift didn't show up, but I'm glad subtotal did for sure. I didn't see myself benching over like 140, just like because the last 2 weeks were kind of rough for bench, but didn't have elbow depth problems, didn't like no like big technicalities for like subtotal wise. I did get red lighted on squat, but it was 2-1, so still counted. But yeah, deadlift just did not do its thing.
So were you not excited coming in about your squat? Because, I mean, you obviously had the world record squat here today, took home the gold medal in squat. And so, I mean, I find it interesting that you were so excited about the deadlift, but, man, your squat was moving.
Yeah, I guess I was just like the only thing I was playing in my head was like, okay, this is going to come down to like last pull situation just from what I know my competitors can hit. And so I was really kind of banking on that deadlift just because like I probably didn't have a deadlift over RP 8 all of prep, and like everything was flying. Like there was no reason for me to not pull at least 290. And I'm not going to blame like chalk or anything, but I do have somebody who agrees with me, Kyle.
For the record, Kyle Nowak is raising his hand over here and pointing to the sky.
The chalk was a little rough here, but, you know, I learned a lot from this meet. One of those things being bring my own chalk to the meet. And so, yeah.
We just spoke to Jack Reynolds, who edged you out at Nationals by a half a kilo. How did that fuel your prep for these world championships?
First, I just want to say shout out to Jack. I don't know, did he leave?
Yes,
Yeah, he left. Shout out to Jack. I'll send this to him or whatever. But I think losing by half a kilo, I'll give a little bit of the storyline. A week out from the meet, I messed my shoulder up on my final back down set of squats. And I was at the doctor's office in Scottsdale the day before the meet, like it was that bad. So we high bar squatted at the meet, and I did 220. A lot of people don't know this, but I did high bar squat at that meet. So I did 220, and then I benched like 132 and a half, which like I was definitely expecting more. And then to put the cherry on top, my third deadlift to pull for the win was misloaded by half a kilo. So I went out there and pulled it and then jumped for joy just to realize that I still lost after pulling that deadlift. So it was weird, but it was definitely the best thing that could have happened to me, just to like fuel the world's prep. Like, we put a ridiculous amount on my total during the prep. I wasn't able to showcase all of that today, but obviously it was enough, so that's good. So, yeah, that definitely did fuel my performance today for sure. And, yeah, I'm just thankful that I was able to put enough on the day to squeeze out the win.
Nick, the game plan today that we talked about coming into the meet was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
So kudos to you and your coach. But I guess one question I had is, you knew you were definitely going for the squat record and the total record. Did you realize about the deadlift record?
So coming into this meet, I didn't know what the deadlift or total record were, but I did know what the squat record was, just because we knew that taking that 0.5 chip would force my competitors to have to go up that extra 2.5. So that was the only record I knew about. But yeah, deadlift, I knew like I was gonna break it. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I was gonna break it. I also do want to say thank you from me and my coach, because he wanted me to tell you this as well. Perfect calls today. And yeah, you did exactly what you're here to do, which is, make like the perfect calls for the world's athletes, which you did like an amazing job today for sure. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I appreciate that.
Nick, what did you guys do between Scottsdale and here to add so much to your total?
So the first thing, I got under a new coach, Keenan Dung, and my only regret is not getting under him sooner, because he's like the best coach for me. And the first thing we did was, like, on our intro call, he's like, "What's your body weight?" I was like, 160. And he's like, "Yeah, no, get up to 170 as soon as possible." So my training weight was like 168.5 in the morning. And then this morning I woke up a lot heavier than I thought. And I woke up around 166, which we were planning on me waking up lighter than that. And I spit a lot. I took hot baths, and yeah, I don't know. It was just like, it was a lot on the day for like, it took a lot mentally for me, because it was like before I even got to do my opener, you have to worry about all this. You have to worry about what's weight, like what's that going to do to your mental. Like it was tough for me, like for sure. But I'm glad we got that sorted out, and I felt great on the day. So
I mean, was that a new experience for you, because you had moved up so much in body weight coming into this competition, that then now the cut was so much more serious?
Yeah, I've never had to do anything like to drop weight for a meet. I would just like show up and kind of like eat whatever I want during prep and then go compete. But this prep, I was meal prepping. I was like doing everything that I could, and I think that definitely helped put a lot on my total for this meet, for sure.
I mean, obviously you broke a couple world records. I think you won by a pretty significant margin. Am I right? And I mean, you looked really strong out there. Like, I mean, really, really great performance. So definitely the body weight situation seemed to have a major positive effect. So is that something going forward that, I mean, did you feel stronger based off of just being a bigger person?
For sure. And so I gut cut for this meet, but next meet we're definitely going to be water cutting. And I'm going to try to walk around a little bit heavier than I usually do. And I honestly don't even know what meet is next for me, but that's the good thing about an off season. I kind of get to just do my thing and not worry so much about that, because 2 back-to-back preps was like a lot more stressful than I had imagined.
Yeah, pretty close together as well. So you have a nice long off season now. Are you going to be a sub-junior again next year, or are you going to be a junior?
I will not be a sub-junior, and I'm looking forward to hopefully going to Junior Worlds again next year. We'll see. Like, I know it's only a matter of time before like a lot of the 75s from other federations switch over. So I'm definitely gonna have to put a lot on my total, but that's what we're doing an off season for. So I'm prepared for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, they should be worried about you, for sure. But yeah, beyond your performance here on the platform and everything, like, what are some of the other takeaways that you have from these World Championships?
This meet definitely taught me to like try to separate my emotions from like reality in a way. Like, just I feel like when I let my emotions like take over, it's I don't know, it's just not as good as like being like professional and like kind of trying to focus in on like what the job is. And so I feel like for the when I took my squats, I was out there, I was like fist bumping the spotters and loaders, like kind of just having fun with it. And I think that's like the best way to go about it, because it's obvious that like all the lifters care. Like, we care a lot about this meet. Like, this is the most important meet to all of us. But I feel like if you take that fun aspect out of it, then it's like you feel like you're doing like a job instead of like doing what you're passionate about.
Wow, he's as wise as he looks old. You're not talking like a sub-junior here. That was extremely good words of wisdom that it takes people often many, many, many years of competing at a high level to learn. So, again, anyone else out there, you've already unlocked a lot of keys going forward. What did it mean? So not a lot of people get to go to World Championships and represent their country.
Right.
Even fewer of those get to stand at the top of the podium and have the national anthem be played for them. What was that feeling like?
It was, so like, I know a lot of people know what I'm talking about when I say this, but like, it was a moment that I had played over in my head about 500 times before the meet that would kind of just like, I would use as that little piece of motivation for like my training session, just like thinking about like, that can very well be me at the top of the podium. Like, I just have to put it together. And like, it happening in real life was kind of just like the cherry on top for me. Like, I literally thought of this moment like 500 times and it's happening. Like, it was unreal for me. Like, there was no other feeling that I could compare it to.
That's amazing, man. I'm so happy for you. You also mentioned something to me in the warm-up room about visualization. Mm-hmm. That do you do like some sort of active visualization? Because you were saying that you had visualized the squat. I think it was after squat when we were talking about that.
Yeah, so something that I've been doing since after my second meet is I'll kind of, if there's time, I kind of go up to the bar, like not the day I compete, but I went up to like the platform after the final session on one of the days prior to me competing, and I kind of just like looked around and was like, I wanted to like see what it was going to be like before actually doing it. I feel like the like having that familiar like visual, I guess, like being like, hey, I've been here before, like I was just here like the other day, the only difference is like I gotta lift weight now. I feel like that helped me a ton with like just like feeling like I've been there before.
Yeah, I mean, you looked really comfortable. In fact, at one point, you had a little moment with yourself, looking at yourself on the big screen on the Jumbotron and waving at yourself.
Yeah.
Was that something that you had planned in advance? Did you visualize that, or was it just a spur of the moment?
That brings back to like how I was saying, like just have fun with it. Like I wasn't trying to like make it like the like hugest deal in the world. I kind of just like, I don't know, just have fun with it. Like it's something that I'm passionate about, so like might as well like embrace the moment. And yeah, that's what that was about.
Man, you looked like you were having fun and you embraced the moment in a big way, taking home some world records and some gold medals. Does anyone else have any questions that they'd like to ask? No? If not, then all right, Nick, we'll let you go. Again, super proud of you. congrats again on a massive performance. I think everyone in the world should be on notice. Nick Gaines is legit. He's for real. And when he puts his mind to something, he does it. So I guess we'll see you back here next year at the Junior World Championships.
Thank you.
Congrats.